In this part, I will discuss the two topics, fractional order and negative order. I have already told you that I will discuss it after a few lectures. Now, since the higher secondary syllabus is over, I am now entering into the honors syllabus strictly. The number of parts from part 1 to part 16 is also for the honors students, but there are some other topics that a chemistry honors student must learn. So here we start. This is especially for the honors students from part 17 onwards, but interested higher secondary students may also watch it in leisure times. Now first I will deal with the fractional order. I will take an example which is decomposition of ethanol to introduce fractional order to you. Now, the mechanism projected for this reaction is, now first I write the reaction, then I will come to the mechanism. So when acetaldehyde is heated, that is ethanol, we have methane and carbon monoxide. See whether the reaction is balanced or not. CH3 and H, CH4 and it is CO. This is the decomposition reaction of ethanol. Now when the rate is measured experimentally, it was found that the reaction has an order of 1.5. That is, it is a fractional order. Now I have introduced to you with 0 order, first order, second order, third order, but this is for the first time I am introducing you with fractional order, and in the next topic within this lecture I will discuss regarding negative order. Now this is the observed rate equation. This has been obtained experimentally. Now a mechanism has been put forwarded like this. One is the first step having the rate constant K1. Now this was called the chain initiation. Now this CH3 reacts with another ethanol molecule to give CH4 and CH3CO. The rate constant of this reaction is K2. Now this CH3CO decomposes to give CH3 and CO. The rate constant is K3. Now in the chain initiation we see that ethanol molecule first decomposes to give you CH3 radical and CHO radical. Now this CH3 free radical reacts with another ethanol molecule to give CH4. This H is being extracted by this radical to give CH4 and we have CH3CO. Now this CH3CO is undergoing dissociation to give you CH3 and CO. So we have the two products in this step, CH4 and CO. Now what this CH3 will do? This will enter into this reaction again. It will react with another acetaldehyde molecule and will give CH4 and CH3CO. Now what this CH3CO will do? It will decompose to give another CH3 and CO. So this coupled reaction will repeat and repeat and repeat. So to give products CH4 and CO. Now this will continue until there is ethanol within the reaction vessel. So this is called chain propagation. That is, after this step, these two steps repeats multiple times until this ethanol molecule gets finished. Now when the system is short out of acetaldehyde, then what will happen? This CH3 will remain in the reaction vessel. Now in the initiation step you have CHO. This CHO will combine with CH3 in some of the steps and will give you acetaldehyde, which will enter into the chain propagation step. Now at the end of the reaction you will get only these CH3 molecules, which will not find any other ethanol molecule. Since it is finished, it will combine, it will dimerize to give ethane, and that will terminate the reaction. So we have the rate constant K4 here. So first step is the chain initiation, then two steps chain propagation which repeats, and last step is the termination process. So this is a free radical chain mechanism. We have to show that this mechanism establishes this rate equation theoretically. So let us start. We have the rate of formation of product, which is rate of formation of methane, which is K2 into concentration of methyl radical and CH3CHO. Now if this is the product, then the rate of formation of the product is the rate of the reaction, and it is given by K2 into CH3 third bracket, that is concentration of this methyl radical into concentration of this ethanol radical. Now we have to find this CH3 radical. So if we remove it, erase it, it will be difficult for us to write the rate equations for the steady state approximation. So let us leave it as it is. Now we have to find the value of this free radical, concentration of this free radical. Unless you have it, you cannot have the rate expression. Now to have, we will use the steady state approximation which I have introduced you. Now we will apply steady state approximation to this methyl radical and this CH3CO radical. See, only two intermediates are there. One is this methyl radical and this CH3CO radical. So concentration of these two intermediates will first increase and then decrease at the end of the reaction. So it will cross through a maxima. The concentration of the intermediate will first rise and then fall. So it will cross through a maxima, and at the maxima you will have the production of CH3 to be stagnant, since the rate at which it is produced equals the rate at which it pass over to the product. So we will have d CH3 dt equals to, here in this reaction it is produced, so it will be K1 into CH3 CHO. Now in this reaction it vanishes, so it will be minus K2 into CH3 into CH3CHO. The observed rate equation is rate equal to K observed into concentration of the reactant to the power 3/2. We have to, our aim is this equation. Now rate of change of CH3 is given by, this is generated in this reaction, this is lost in this reaction, this is again generated in this reaction. So it will be plus K3, it will be plus K3 into CH3CO. Now this methyl radical is getting lost in this reaction. So it will be minus K4, it is CH3 whole square. Here we have it, so it is positive. Here it is getting lost, so we have negative, and we depend upon the reactants. Here it is again, we have it, so it is positive, and here we lose it, so it will be negative. Now another intermediate we have, that is DCH3CO dt. Now it is generated in this reaction, so it will be K2 into CH3 into CH3CHO. It is generated in this reaction, but it is lost in this reaction, so it will be minus K3 into CH3CO. Now this is equation 2, this is equation 1, and this is equation 3. Now we add equation 2 and 3. Now we can erase it. If we add equation 2 and 3, we will get this one, K1 into CH3CHO. See, this minus K2 CH3CH3CHO will cancel with this positive term, and this plus K3 into CH3CO will cancel this term. So we have K4 into CH3 whole square. Now you see, in the steady state, the rate of production of this one is 0. So it is 0, it is equation 2, and it is equals to 0, it is equation 3. So when we add 2 and 3, we will have 0 plus 0 equal to 0. So we have K4 CH3 whole square equals to K1 CH3 CHO. Now concentration of free methyl radical will be K1 by K4. We take this K4 to the right hand side and we have to square root it. So it will be to the power half, and here it will be to the power half. Now when we take this K4 to the right hand side, it will be K1 by K4, and when we take a square root on both sides, we will have CH3 third bracket equals to K1 by K4 to the power half into CH3CHO third bracket to the power half. Now we have the value of the methyl radical. We put it in equation 1. So this is equation 4. We put equation 4 in equation 1, so that we have the rate of the reaction equal to K2 into K1 by K4 to the power half. Now this is to the power half and this is to the power 1, so it will be CH3CHO to the power 3 by 2. So we have the fractional order. Now comparing these two relations, we have the K observed, that is the experimentally obtained rate equation, to be K this is K2 into K1 by K4 to the power half. So this is an example of the fractional order reaction. Now it's the turn of the negative order. Now the example of the negative order is decomposition of ozone to oxygen. Now here the observed rate equation is the rate of the reaction is found to be second order with respect to ozone and negative order with respect to dioxygen. Now a mechanism has been projected. It is like in step 1 we have O3 to decompose into O2 and O. This is K1, this is K minus 1. Now this is fast and reversible. In the next step we have this O to react with another O3 molecule to give O2 and O2. Now this is the slow step. Now I have told you that whenever you find a fast and reversible reaction to be followed by a rate determining step, slow step, then since there is less pump of this intermediate, it will enter into a rapid equilibrium and equilibrium will be attained. Now if we have equilibrium, we can write K equilibrium to be K1 by K minus 1. Now what is the rate of the reaction? Now rate of the reaction is obviously dO2 dt. Now see, if we consider the rate of disappearance O to be guided by K2, then for disappearance of each atom, each nascent oxygen, there are two molecules of dioxygen that is produced. So if we use K2 for this intermediate, then we have to use 2K2 for this. So it will be 2K2, the rate of formation of O2, it is 2K2 into O into O3. It will depend upon the reactant. Now we have the concentration of O3, but we don't know the concentration of this O. We have to find it. Now since an equilibrium is generated and this is the slow step, so there is less pump of this oxygen, we can write K equilibrium to be K1 by K minus 1 equals to O2 into O, these are the equilibrium concentrations, by O3. So from this we have third bracket O to be K equilibrium into O3 by O2. We will have K equilibrium into O3 third bracket by O2. Now we put this expression in this relation. So we will have 2K2 into O3 we already have, and now this third bracket O, it is K equilibrium into O3 third bracket by O2 third bracket. So the rate is 2K2 into K equilibrium into O3 whole square. O3 third bracket into O3 third bracket, it is O3 third bracket whole square, and this O2 third bracket is in the denominator, so it will be O2 third bracket to the power minus 1. So we have obtained this rate expression. Now where the K observed, that is the experimentally observed rate constant, is 2 into K2 into K equilibrium. So I have discussed all the possible order that one can have for any reaction. Order may be 0 for any reaction, it may be integer, and it may be fractions, and it may even be negative. So this is all about order of a reaction.